So yesterday, Tectone did a react video to one of my videos, and you know what? I gotta say, dude was actually super supportive. I mean, honestly, he could have destroyed my little channel, but he was pretty much, hey, guy's a grandpa, but he's doing a great job, made a great video. So I just want to say thanks, my man, for the reaction video and for the promo. It is much appreciated. As a result of that little react video, though, I got a ton of new subs, and as many of you are new, I feel like I should do the briefest of reintroductions. My name is Dusty Monk. I've been making and playing games for over 25 years. I worked on the original Age of Mythology, Age of Empires 3, Halo Wars, and I've spent the last 15 years working at Robot Entertainment, where I'm currently the tech lead for Orcs Must Die. Now, my goal with this channel has always been to bring you game developer insights into various game mechanics and systems, while also providing content aimed mostly towards solo and casual players. Of course, it appears that my real niche for this channel is apparently old guy plays gacha games, but you know, fuck it, you work with what you have, right? But honestly, the vast majority of you have been super supportive in the comments, and I am hugely grateful for that. Okay, enough of that. According to the analytics, I've already lost about 60% of you, so let's get this boat in the air. After my last video, where I chatted about a number of gacha games that are coming up that I'm looking forward to, someone in my comments was like, hey, what do you think of Duet Night Abyss? And I'm like, honestly, I haven't heard of Duet Night Abyss, so I'm not sure what I think. But I went out there and I watched a few trailers, and apparently they've just finished a closed beta test, and so there's a ton of online footage for you to go and peruse if you're interested. Now, a lot of people are calling this an anime warframe, and you know what? I get that from the weapons and gunplay. Although honestly, I really get more of a Black Desert Mobile vibe from it, where you're going to clearly be using lots of AoE abilities and mowing down tons of enemies en masse. In fact, if it doesn't already, I'd be very surprised if it doesn't implement some sort of auto attack mode just for AFK farming. It just smells like a game that is ripe for that. But I will say there is one aspect of the game that I do find very interesting and very ambitious, and that is the fact that they intend for every character to be able to use every weapon. Now, from a content creation standpoint, that's hella crazy. Let's talk about why. So say you're making a gacha game and you're looking into the animation requirements for your characters. We'll use zzzero as an example and our best girl Enby. And no, I don't have Soldier Enby yet, and I'll thank you kindly to not remind me of that. Okay, so what would we need? Let's start off with non-combat basic movement. We have an idle here, all right? Then we have transition to run, the run, sprint, a lean blend while we're running. See how she turns while see how she leans while she's turning like that? Yeah, that's a lean blend. And then we have a transition back to idle. So that right there is like 5 animations just for non-combat movement. And then of course, let's look at combat. We have a different idle for combat. We have a board animation, at least one. And we have the same set of movement animations, right? Start, run, sprint, leaning blend, come to a stop. And then, of course, we have all of her ability animations. We have her combo animations as she works through her basic attacks. We have the variant for attack 4 if you use the pause after attack 3. We have the lovely special ability animation, right? This is fantastic. And of course, then we have her entire ultimate sequence, which is a whole series of animations and blends in and of itself. And then back in combat, you've got light flinches from the front and from the back. Then outside of combat, of course, you have the flourish animations for when you're viewing the various stat screens. And then, of course, there are some specialty animations for things like Enby hanging out on the roof of her van for your wallpaper. I think you get the idea. For one character, there can be dozens and dozens of animations that you have to go and build. And whether you're paying animators or using mocap, or likely some combination of the two, these assets do not come cheaply. Now say you're Pan Studio and you want to have a combat system where every character can use every weapon. Think about this. Now, each character needs to have a complete set of attack animations for each weapon. And then this is going to include drawing the weapon, using the weapon, probably different versions of that for each kind of movement speed, right? You have one version when you're walking and another version when you're running, and putting the weapon away. Hypothetically, let's just say it's a half dozen new animations for one weapon. It's almost certainly more than that. And say, for instance, you just add 5 weapons to your game. Okay, so that's a half dozen additional animations for each of the 5 weapons for a total of 30 new animations for each character. And that's in addition to the character's already extraordinarily large, complete, unique anim set. But here's the real kicker. Say for the next update, you want to release 3 new weapons, right? Well, now every existing character will have to have a new anim set added for each of those new weapons. Unlike in zzzero, where existing characters never have to be touched again, you're going to have to revisit the anim set for every character each time you add a new weapon. And of course, when you add new characters, they also are going to have to be updated for all of the existing and new weapon animations. Can you see how this is going to get really expensive really quickly? This is why so many games really just don't even mess with this kind of mechanic. Now, Can you mitigate this cost? Absolutely. You can make all of your characters biped humanoids, with only slight variations in size. This way, they can all use the same skeleton, and therefore reuse the same animations. Theoretically, if you do it this way, you can build one set of animations for each weapon, and then just reuse those animations across all of your characters. The downside to this, of course, is that it's going to look very generic for the weapon for each character. Now, I haven't played Duet Night Abyss, so I can't say for certain what it is that they're doing, or not. What is likely is that it's some hybrid approach, where they use generic animations most of the time, but some characters may get special unique animations for some weapons. In any event, when the game does become available to the general public, it'll be interesting to see how they address this problem of animation proliferation, or even if they do. Okay, that's going to do it for this episode of I'm Still Playing. If you'll excuse me now, I need to jump back into Zero and push the story forward a bit. Oh, and of course, make more failed pulls for Soldier Ambi. Thank you again for coming by, and until next time, whatever it is that you're playing, play hard.